Hello again to all in Sundry. Welcome back to the Great Partition in Europa Universalis 4. I'm Paragon Saber. Let's get back into it. So last time we did see Russia continuing to expand out east. They took a very large chunk of land, at least in land area, from Khalkha. Not sure about the development. I can't imagine that too many of these provinces are excellently developed. They have surrounded Lake Baikal though. So there's that. Russia also on the losing end of some conflicts, though. They did lose a war against Khiva and Persia, which lost them Dagestan and has made the Caucasian borders look a little wonky. I mean, it could be worse. Something with a somewhat other color than Persia might look a little bit worse there. And they also lost a war against Poland and his helpers, which lost them Polotsk, Vitebsk, and Mogilev, which have been properly policized. Perhaps that's the word. Prussia also sustaining a defeat from a rough coalition war, which not only saw them lose a couple provinces to Poland, most notably Memel, but also forced to give Ostroda back to Mazovia, and their lands rather divided by the releasing of Saxony, to say nothing of Magdeburg. That's enough of that. Let's go ahead and keep going. Looks like we have yet another trading city released. City of Bleking, released most likely by Lubeck, who is really one of the big surprises in this campaign for me. I mean, they have done a lot of expansion inside the HRE, and unlike Prussia, have managed to avoid the coalitions. That's good call on their part. Things appear to have quieted down in India for now. Poor Bahmanis. They were the big guy, but they fell too far behind on tech. We're not able to get the institutions in there soon enough, and they have paid for it. A lot of their former allies hopping on them and partitioning up their land. No fun for them. Still have Emperor Jin, but we looked at them at the last part of the last episode, and well, it's still 1690. Not much has had the opportunity to change over there. Let's glance at the Americas. Colonization continues apace. British Columbia is still looking alright, though Muisca has taken the Portuguese colonies over here. I think Portugal is still alive in the Azores. Yep, they have the Azores, they have Madeira. They don't appear to have all that much else. Poor Portugal. They've really, they've had issues this time. And hey, look, it's the US! The United States has formed from Toulouse's colony of Florida. So we have the 13 colonies split by the US. Don't think too hard about that one. And the natives have continued to just not really be attacked. Looks like a few did finally get swallowed up here, the likes of Abenaki, Powhatan. Actually, no, Abenaki is still alive. The colonists being a lot nicer to the natives in this timeline. Iroquois actually expanding into formerly Vinlandish territory, or is it Vinlandian? I'm not sure. And they have taken some of Huron's territory, including Huron itself. And we still have Assiniboine up here too. But yeah, the tribe's doing all right, and here's Portugal's next attempt to colonize. They weren't able to get into Chinamacha itself, again a pretty good province, but that's New Orleans. And Brittany has managed to set up another colony in Bay Saint Louis. They do have they actually have managed to take over both Tlaxcala and Totonac as well. So Brittany enjoying somewhat of a resurgence in the New World here. And look at this! We have colonization from the other side of the world. There's Japan. They have colonized some of northern Mexico, the Sonoran region. Anything further north does not appear to be the case. So Japan expanding, just in its own way. I'm still surprised that they haven't maybe gone for an invasion of Korea, but they're apparently fine with how their home islands are. I mean, they haven't attacked Ryukyu. Ainu is, of course, their tributary state, has been for a while. I mean, Ainu culture was around into the 1900s, I think, so I guess that's a little surprise. I can't click on Ryukyu. I have to get in so close. There we go. Ryukyu is just diplomatically not tied to anybody, so I guess Japan just, you know, their open doors are quite open. They're very much live and let live when it comes to those that would normally be part of their islands. Majapahit did pretty convincingly win that war against Malacca, but did not take all of it, which, depending on how far the Malay Peninsula extends up in terms of the game, not quite enough to form Malaya. Brunei has finally almost finished, they're very close to finishing colonizing Borneo. That's good for them. Kind of rough having just a bit of island down there that has been uncolonized for centuries. We did see Brazil break free from Toulouse earlier. And actually, did Gascony just full annex Toulouse? No. Toulouse still has Nice. But that's about it. Oh yeah, they have Savoy as well. I'm not sure when they actually managed to pick Savoy up, but so it goes. And Gascony is as close to France as they could really manage considering this campaign. Trying to save some money by getting rid of some soldiers right now. I don't know how wise an idea that is, but I guess if they're in debt or something, they gotta do what they gotta do. See that army going from 53,000 down to 36 as we watch. And they did get themselves back up to great power status with that war, as expected. Spain is fighting Morocco again. What's this one over? They attack Kong again. Yep. Did they actually get armies down here this time? Oh, they got 5,000 down here, and there's 44. Okay, guessing this one might go a little better for Spain, as they've actually come down and are willing to attack their war target. They've also re-annexed Benin, so there you go, Spain. That's a little bit more how it's done. A little bit better showing from the world's first great power. Though as soon as Russia is able to introduce or embrace manufactories, things will look a little better for them. So is Estonia out again in Ocel? No, Poland is actually taking Ocel. Gotta be a bit of a hit to Livonia's desire to form Kurland. All of the territory that was spit out by Novgorod after that war with Russia, I'm pretty sure that was spit out for Novgorod by Khiva. Regardless, it's been annexed again. Of course, not a surprise. Russia wasn't going to let that sit for long. And they've allied Perm again, which has prevented them from taking this 31 development province. Though, I think Russia might be able to peacefully vassalize them, despite how good that province is. I know it has something to do with the square of total development, so, you know, if we were going just off of that, then Perm would have 31 squared, so a little over 900. I really should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. It's more than 900, less than 1,000. I think it might be 931, but it's going to end in 1, that's for sure. Regardless, Russia does have more than enough total development, even if it's not supported by their tech. They have more than enough to at least cover the square of Perms. Anyways, surprised nobody's jumped on Aretna yet. They actually have managed to get another ally, but it's the Knights, who have been stuck on roads for a long time. Do see Croatia's army down here in Maria. They were, I believe, both at war with Venice a while ago. I mean, I know we saw, Epirus was spit out in one of those wars. Maria was formerly allied to Venice. Venice took that for themselves. Maria wasn't happy about that, so when that got spit out again, Maria was happy to jump. Would like to see them form Greece. They need Naxos for that. But that's under Aydin for now, and Aydin is protected by Nevers. Yes. Oh, hey, there we go. They're actually fighting Epirus and Crete, probably looking to take Scio, or Chios. Though there's very little movement occurring, because Epirus has this one galley here with the 231 Admiral. They're ready. They're gonna defend that strait no matter what comes. Aydin also has one ship that I can see, but that's transport. That galley would eat it for breakfast. Well, frankly, they probably wouldn't even be able to destroy each other, but yeah. Do see Mazovia being given back yet another province. This time Ermland, and Poland is more than happy to jump in and say, hey, that is mine, thank you very much. Prussia looking pretty rough compared to where they were recently. They don't have to deal with a coalition right now, but and they still have Space Marines, but their territory has been vastly reduced by that coalition war, and the effects of, well, I mean, something else happened while we weren't looking, which I am hitting myself over. Seems like far too many things in this campaign have happened while I wasn't looking, but that's also the price we pay for being on Speed 4, and, I still would really rather not have a series that takes 90-some episodes. I don't know if it would take that long if I were on Speed 3. I think it would take 80 or 90, and I don't want to do that when I'm not actually playing. If I am playing, that's another matter entirely. At least then I can justify pausing to explain my rationale or something, but in this case, none of my rationale was explained away at the beginning. I wanted chaos. I've got chaos. And you've got chaos too if you watched all of this. And former Emperor Wu is under attack yet again. They are fighting Khalkha, Manchu, and Liang. Liang, who has expanded pretty significantly up here in north-central China. Also, Ming's been brought down to just Hefei for now. 19 development, so not a bad province, but, they keep rising and falling as people give them back cores when they look weak, and they get strong enough to pose a threat again, and then they get conquered again. Sooner or later, they're going to run out of cores that can be given back. Regardless, I think Wu has a shot at turning this war around. They did have a couple forts sieged down while they were elsewhere, but I don't know. Manchu still, they have Buryat separatists. Those are Russia's Buryat separatists, and Russia's ready for them when they come back around, but Buryatia had cores over a lot of this, and right now it's Korea that is bearing the brunt of their attention. Maybe that's the best way to put it, I don't know. Tibet's out again. I kind of thought this was all Delhi's. Maybe they lost a war or something. Tibet has very good ideas, though they can't really do much about this right now. But I think it's Tibet. It might be Nepal. No, they're a holy state. That's fun. Anyways, one of those two is kind of the one of the Space Marines of the East, the other being Khmer. Khmer can get some pretty good troops. Hey, Persia's fighting Egypt again. And this time, it's all Persia. In the past, we've seen Egypt and his buddies able to successfully resist Persia. Not the case this time. I'm seeing only about 30,000 up for Egypt, as compared to about 70, 80,000. Oh, I didn't even see this 20... Yeah, a little over 100,000, actually, for Persia, and they are sweeping through Oman and Egypt. Cairo has been sieged down. Having only a level 2 fort on your capital, not gonna offer much protection at this stage of the game. And Khiva is at war with Russia again. Though actually Russia has attacked Karadel and brought in Khiva. Karadel have anybody else to protect them? They have Chagatai. Yeah, go Chagatai, you've got this. It's a good move by Russia, fighting Khiva without the help from Delhi. Or Persia. Seems like something a player would do. So, well done by them. I mean, Russia has been somewhat of a paper tiger. They seem to keep attracting nerfs every patch, but, well, I feel confident that they can handle this. Tech issue or not. Russia's lands, not all the richest, though they do have the likes of Novgorod and Moscow, which are very rich. I mean, Moscow last we saw had 42 development, now up to 46. So, you know, the Ruskies should be able to bring in more than enough trade. Surprised they haven't embraced manufactories. Actually, let's check the institution map mode. I am seeing Russia, they've built 0 manufactories. And this, that probably a newly finished colony. But yeah, they've built none. No wonder they don't have manufactories. They're having to take spread from others. Poland doesn't have them yet either. But I feel like Poland has a little bit more of an excuse. They've been embroiled in nigh constant war. And, that tends to be a drain on the treasury. I mean, Russia seems to be always at war in any game of EU4. But, so, that war between Poland and Mazovia is over. We do see a 7 or 6.5 year truce. Regardless, Poland hasn't taken this land. Though I do see that they've gotten Poznan back, and they do have Glogau. Or Glogau. Regardless, they have that back. Probably have had that back for a while. I haven't been paying much attention over there. Aydin has some pretender rebels. Looks like those will enforce their demands, so we'll have Hussein Barbaros, or whatever dynastic name he decides to take. They'll be over there ready to do their thing. I see Maria fighting Crete. Have they decided to go for Naxos? No, they're going for Corfu instead. And they've got it. So Epirus now only in Chios. Still have their one galley. He's ready. He will do what it takes. And we do still have Germion sitting over here in Edirne and Constantinople. They've allied Albania. That's something. They can throw 17k at people. I know Albania would really like to get Scutari back. I'm not seeing much. Never mind. There's Venice's army. They have 11k. Montenegro has been out for a while. They've allied the Pope. The Pope, who still reduced from his original state, but does have 3 provinces, even managing to take Abruzzi from the failing Naples earlier on. So that's nice. Looks like Spain is very much done with Kong, but not their sorry, those are Mosi separatists. Regardless, Kong was a little bit bigger than their 4 provinces before. Spain is done with them. Still have not decided that they don't want anything to do with Moroccan Africa, but they want all of West Africa. Or at least the southern hump of Africa. I don't know if there's, well, they want all of Nigeria? Niger? I don't know if there's a great name for that area. At least there's not one that I know. Their conquest in South America has continued apace, though Inca's still there and still around. It's honestly kind of jarring if you go into EU4 and just decide to start looking at years. Spain actually is fighting Inca right now, notably. But if you start looking at different bookmarks, start dates, or, you know, just want to look at, like, rulers' historical stats that aren't in 1444, you can start running into some interesting things. Like, in a normal game of EU4, very, very little is going to be colonized compared to when it was colonized in real life. Like, even if you just click the up a century button, Spain has really, I think they have a colony in La Plata. I know they have a colony in Peru because the Incas had fallen by then. They have all of formerly owned Mexico there. So, you know, Spain has a ton of colonies. Whereas by 1544, in some games, colonialism's only been around for about 10 years because no one's been colonizing out there. And Africa seems to tend to get more looks from the colonizers in the early game. Just kind of odd. You'll never see historical rates of colonization. Unless it's like player Portugal or Spain. But even then, you know, if they're able to conquer everybody that they need to conquer over here, you know, Spanish La Plata is pretty big in the 1544 bookmark. Well, it's not a bookmark. It's a click the century button up and away you go. Regardless, Khiva is now taking the hurt from Persia. From Russia. I knew that war. Persia was able to take Hama and I think Antioch and Aleppo from Egypt. Does not appear that they took anything from Oman, though. But it would appear that they forced a break alliance with Egypt on Oman. Good use of strategy there by the AI. And that truce with Oman is going to be up far, unless the alliance just broke on its own. Also, I think that's Siena fighting Sicily. Sicily is at war with the Pope, the Knights, Gascony, and Siena. They better hope they have some heavy hitters on their side, because that's a lot of people to fight against. Just Poland and Austria, and Bavaria and Cologne. Yeah, that actually looks like a pretty even war. We'll come back to check on that progress in a second, though for now the Austrian side looking pretty good. I guess I should check the name of the war, shouldn't I? Austrian Papal Imperialist War. Man. For somebody who likes to lead the Catholic League, Austria not really looking like a very good Catholic at this point. Though I suppose the game treats it as all okay as long as you don't outright take or vassalize. Sorry, as long as you don't outright take Rome or vassalize the Pope. You take Rome, you get that -1 diplomatic reputation, and I believe -10 yearly papal influence. So you can kiss your Pope mana goodbye. And if you vassalize the Pope, you don't get the hit to papal influence, but you do get -2 diplo rep instead. It's a penalty that sometimes you can be willing to eat, especially if you are HRE based, and you know, I think generally around the time that Austria would be vassalizing the Pope or conquering Rome, they're probably fine on diplo rep. You know, they outright need to take diplomatic ideas as their first idea group. if they want any good chance at forming all the unions that they want to. So I guess my point is that Austria can eat that penalty sometimes. Not too many other Catholic nations can deal too well with -2 Diplo rep or even -1. It's kind of a rough situation. Do you see that these two occupied by Caradel? That would be the territory that Gazakumik starts out with, but really, Russia actually hasn't done anything to Caradel itself, who has expanded quite a bit at the expense of Khalkha, it appears. Instead, focusing all their efforts on Khiva, who has now spawned the Noble Rebels. I was happy with Khiva. They'd done quite well for themselves, carving out a little niche in between Persia and Russia, but can't help but wonder how long that's going to last now that they've managed to face Russia alone. Well, there's the end of that war. Russia has taken Nogai at the very least, or Nogay, in 18 Development Province. Not something Khiva would want to lose. They've also lost Urjar, not the greatest of provinces. Yes, yeah, looks like they've also lost Akhmalinsk, Shagendik. So yeah, a loss for Khiva there. Their not being a co-belligerent helped them from losing more, I guess. They are still enjoying the guarantee from Persia, and actually still hold on to that alliance with Caradel. So yeah, a very solid strategic move by Russia. They they attacked Caradel, did nothing to Caradel, and just took provinces from Khiva instead, though if they wanted to make their life easier, they'd have tried to... I can't remember if you can remove a guarantee by attacking the guaranteed nation. Sorry, by attacking an ally of the guaranteed nation and bringing them in. I can't remember if you can do that from that side. Regardless, looks like this war against the Pope is over. Don't see much territory having changed hands. Looks like about a 7-year truce, so 20 war score popped up. Spain's fighting Morocco yet again. And we also see Sardinia over here. And now they're attacking Genet. So Morocco desperately trying to protect every South African nation and just... Well, I mean, they haven't hurt too much themselves for it because Spain doesn't want to cross the Strait of Gibraltar. I mean, yeah, Morocco is protecting all of these nations. They've still got the alliance with Kong, they've got an alliance with Genet, they're guaranteeing Songhai. I think the only other Diplo slot is their alliance with Egypt, it is. So, Spain's gonna have to fight Morocco, I mean, more times than this. I guess this time they have Sardinia helping. That's nice for them. And actually, Sardinia's army did quite well against Morocco's there. There's a change in emperorship. But there goes Sardinia's army, I do believe. Although they'll be dead soon. There they are. Stack wipe. Sardinia did have a tech advantage. I believe that's Covered Way, Tech 24. And I think that's the one that gives fortresses. I'm pretty sure every EU4 player hates fortresses. Level 8 forts are the most annoying things to siege down, especially if they're coastal. Even more if they're like both coastal... if they're both coastal and mountainous, like Trebizond. Oy vey. And there's Odiev, yeah, City of the World's Desire. They are going after Germion, and that of course calls Albania in. Still hoping that Maria might be able to take Naxos sometime soon. But that has not materialized. The mandate's sitting at 0. And we accordingly see Jin at war. How many wars are they fighting for the mandate? Right now they're only fighting Liang and Khalkha, and it's just a conquest, so they'll hold on to the mandate for a bit longer, but do they share a tiny border with Russia? They do. I wonder if Russia could come in and become the Celestial Emperor. That would be a game changer because Russia could establish some tributaries. Regardless, that would be the timer. Thank you all for watching. I've been Paragon Saber. This has been the Great Partition. The Enlightenment has probably spawned while I wasn't looking, so we'll check that next episode. Regardless, thank you much. I will see you next time.